Welcome to this section, and in this section we're going to be talking about just some basic statistics and an introduction to just some of these basic statistics and how we can use them in Python. In football analytics, statistics and math are actually very overlooked, even though it is a pretty core requirement. If you want to work a job, you need to understand at least these core concepts of statistics, and this is really the foundation that sets you apart from other people. So we're just going to be talking about something that you commonly see in football analytics. So it'll be the mean, a rolling mean, median, mode, range, variance, standard deviation, percentiles, skewness, and correlation. That kind of sounds like a lot, but in Python and with the power of pandas and NumPy, we can actually do a lot of these fairly simply and fairly easily. So we're just going to be going over some code and talking about these different statistics and these different metrics that we're going to be looking at. So let's import just the packages we're going to use. So we'll say import pandas as PD, and then we'll say import numpy as NP, and then we'll say import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. We'll import seaborn as well, so import seaborn as SNS. And then we're going to import a new package called SciPy. So if we say import scipy.stats as stats. And then as well, let's load in the data that we're going to be looking at. So the data is just a CSV file in the GitHub called big5-clean. And this is just already clean data that we don't have to go and clean like we did in the previous section. It's just already clean and ready for us to start doing some analysis on it. So let's do df equals pd.read underscore CSV like that. And then you just need to put in the file path of that CSV file. So mine is in documents/GitHub, and then complete-football-analytics, and then module 5 with big5-clean.csv like that. So that is where mine is located. You just need to put in your file path of where yours is actually located. So let's just see what our columns are looking like. So if we do df.columns, you can see we have rank, player, nation. It's just our base FBref table right here. It's just cleaned up a little bit so that we don't have to do any cleaning beforehand. So now let's look at how we can start to calculate some of these different stats and what they actually mean. So we'll start off with the average, or it's commonly known as the mean. So basically, this is just the average of all of the numbers in our number list. So to do this in pandas, we can get the mean of just a single column. If we say print df, and then in brackets, let's say we want to get the goals, the mean of our goals column, and then we say dot mean like that, with another parenthesis for our print. So if we run that, we get the average goals is 1.6902, and it's kind of just keeps going forever. So that gives us the mean of the goals. We can also do that with NumPy. If we do mp.mean and then df goals like that. So that is going to give us our mean with NumPy. And it gives us the same thing, okay? Let's say we want to look at the mean goals for players over 30 who are only forwards. So what we can do is we can say print df, and then we just use our filtering techniques. So we say df age, like that, is greater than or equal to 30, and with an ampersand, and then we'll do df with pos, okay, .string .contains fw for forward, like that, and then close it off with your two parentheses. And so that's how we filter it. So now let's just grab the goals column by just putting another bracket, and we say goals, okay, and then we can just do .mean on that with a parenthesis at the end, so we do our print statement right there. So basically what we have done is we have filtered the data frame down to only those players who are forwards and older than 30, and we've taken their goals column and their goals values, and now we are getting the average of all of those. So I missed a parenthesis right there at the beginning, so just add that. So now we see that the average for players over 30 who are a forward, is 4.23. So kind of cool that we can filter it that way and we can start to see different metrics. So now with a mean, we get something called a rolling mean. And this essentially is just we start out at the top and we just start to add the numbers together, and we have a window where in this window we are taking the average of all the numbers in the window, and we define that by saying I want this row and the 5 rows behind it, okay? So it'll be the average of those 6 values as we start to go down, and you'll get kind of this wavy pattern depending on what you're evaluating. So to do this with pandas, it's very simple. We just say df goals, okay? We're gonna get the rolling average of goals, and we'll say rolling window equals 5. So we're giving it how many rows we want. So 5 rows, and then dot mean like that, okay? So if we run that, we now have the rolling mean of the goals column. In all honesty, that is not a very useful metric because goals, it's really helpful to do a rolling mean when we are looking at time series data. So you might see like a rolling expected goals over a series of games, or you might see a rolling mean of even passes or any metric, but it's usually with a time series element to it. And you'll notice that the first 4 rows are null because we have set the window to 5. So anything under the 5th row is going to be null because there is not enough data to be able to calculate the mean based on the window size we gave it. So our next metric is actually going to be the median, which is essentially the middle point of all of the data. So in pandas, we can just say df goals like this, and then dot median like that. So that will give us the middle point of our data. So basically it means if we sorted all of them from lowest to highest, this is the point directly in the middle. This is what the data value would be. So there are some cases where using the median is better than using the average, depending on if the average is skewing the data. So when you're doing any sort of modeling or statistics, you kind of have to determine which one you're going to use and which one seems to give you a better, more realistic number than the other one. We can also do median in NumPy if we just say np.median like that with df goals, okay? That will give us the same thing. So now another metric and another statistical concept is called the mode. And the mode essentially allows us to see what is the most common of the numbers. So if we say df goals dot mode, so in pandas we would do it like this, and it's telling us that we have 0 is the most common number. So this means that we have the most occurrences of the number 0, and this is very useful to see what are the most common patterns. How can we see how the data is skewed by one number? So 0 is on the low end, or it is skewed towards the zeros, right? So you're going to have this long tail effect. So that is where when we're doing different statistics, we're doing different machine learning, we might have to normalize that or kind of level the playing field so our models can understand the data even better. Another concept in statistics is the maximum and the minimum, and we use these for ranges. So if we want to see what is the maximum value, we would just do df goals like this, and then dot max, okay? So that's going to give us our maximum value, which is 36. And then if we get our min, we can say df goals dot min, okay? So 0. So then we can basically create a range function with this. So if we just do df goals dot max minus df goals dot min, that's essentially going to give us the range or the spread of that column. And it gives us kind of the range of the spread of that data. And these previous metrics are all really nice when we combine them with our exploratory data analysis is what it's called. And this is basically just trying to understand the data. We use all of these, like we'll use a mean to understand, okay, what is the middle point What is a rolling average kind of looking like if it's a time series data? What is the most common, maximum, minimum? These are all important things to know when you're working with data and analyzing data. And another important concept is something called variance. The variance basically describes how much difference is between the average of the data and the data point you're looking at. And this basically tells us if our data is very spread or if it is very compact together with the mean. So if we're looking at kind of linear data, it tells us, are we kind of close to what we expected, or is there a lot of variance, a lot of spread between the different data points and what we would expect them to be at? Okay. So in pandas, it's very simple to calculate the variance. We just say df goals dot var like that. So, you can just remember this one because everybody loves var. And we get 9.97. So basically, the higher the number we get, the more spread there is between the expected value and what we expect them to be based on the mean, and then what they actually are on all of the data points. Another concept that goes along with variance is standard deviation, because standard deviation is just the square root of the variance. So what standard deviation kind of allows us to do is to, as well, gives us a metric of how spread out is our data. And usually with normal data, we hope to have most of the data within about 3 standard deviations, and anything outside of those 3 standard deviations is usually considered an outlier, or a data point that we might not want to include in our analysis, or if we're training different models so that we don't train it on bad or rare data points, okay? Because we're trying to basically, with these statistics, make sure that we have the most correct information, and you will always have outliers in your data, but it's important to be able to handle those as much as you can. So in pandas, once again, it's very simple to calculate the standard deviation. We just say df goals, so gls.std, like that, and that gives us our standard deviation, which is essentially the same as the square root of that. And then a couple more metrics and kind of statistical concepts that are important to know. So this one is called a percentile. And percentiles are very useful for understanding where a player falls in a range of scores. So you might have heard, like on tests, oh, I scored in the 80th percentile. This means that I was better than 80% of people in that test with my test score. Or if we say, oh, I'm in the 98th percentile of height, that means I'm taller than 98% of people. So in football, we usually look at this, like, for example, when we did our radars, we looked at, oh, Kylian Mbappe was in the 99th percentile for goals. That means he has scored more goals than 99% of other people. So doing percentiles is very simple with pandas. We can just say df goals, so GLS, and then dot quantile, so it's quantile instead of percentile, and then we just tell it which percentile we want. So if we want the 25th percentile, we can do that, so it's 0. If we do the 75th percentile, then it's 2. So if you scored 2 goals, that means you have scored more goals than 75% of all other players in the top big leagues. And then NumPy also allows us to do it, but it uses percentile. So if we say mp.percentile and then df goals like that, and then a comma, and then whatever percentile you want. So we can say 75th, and it gives us 2 as well. If we did 50th, 0. If we did the 99th, 15 goals. So if you had scored 15 goals at whatever point this data frame was, you would have been in the 99th percentile. And then another metric to kind of understand the distribution of our data is called skew. So skew basically tells us if we have any sort of tail ends or if the distribution is normalized in the middle. So to do this and kind of see the skew of our data, in pandas, we can do it very simply if we just say df goals dot skew like this. And so we have a positive number. And so what a positive number means is that our data is skewed to the right. Or in other words, it means that our data is mostly closer to the lower values, and it kind of is shaped as it has that tail going off to the right side of the graph. If it was negative, then we would have a left skew or a negative skew, which means that basically more of our data is on the right side of the metric. And then the last concept to talk about, and we'll dive more into this in an upcoming lesson, is called correlation. So in correlation, we are basically measuring the relationship between two different variables, two or more variables. And what we're doing is basically saying, what is the strength of this relationship? We usually get a metric between -1 and 1, with -1 being a very strong negative relationship. So as one metric goes up, another metric goes down. Or we get a 1, which is a very positive relationship, which means as one goes up, the other goes up as well. And then a 0 means that there's basically no relationship at all. So in pandas, this is very simple to do. We can just say df goals dot core, like that, CORR, and then we pass in the other variable or the other column. So we'll say df, and then we'll look at assist, so AST, like that. So if we run that, we get a 0.54. So that is basically falling in our metrics of 0 to 1. And it's saying it's 0.54, which is a somewhat strong relationship. And then the cool thing about the Seaborn library that we kind of mentioned and have talked about is that we can visualize an entire data frame of correlations. So if we just say sns.heatmap, and then we pass in our data frame with the columns we want. So we'll say df bracket bracket with goals, and then assists, so AST, and then we'll look at XG as well. And then we'll do card Y, so yellow cards, and card R, so red cards as well. And then do dot CORR, okay? And then do ANNOT, so annotate equals true. And then do CMAP equals cool warm, like that. So run that. And then we get this little graph that comes back. And let's just kind of look at what this is telling us. So on the x-axis, we have our goals, assists, expected goals, yellow and red cards. And then on the y-axis, we have the exact same thing. So we can basically just look at this as we go, and we can say, okay, for expected goals, what is the correlation with the goals metric? So it is a 0.94. That means there is a very strong relationship between these two variables. If we look at yellow cards and red cards, a somewhat strong positive relationship at 0.3. Assists and expected goals has a somewhat strong relationship. And as we can imagine, goals and red cards don't really have any relationship. The same thing for assists and red cards. So there's no real like fine number, but we just say the closer we get to 1, the stronger the relationship is. Same thing with -1, the stronger the negative relationship is. So that's why it's important to understand, because as we get into more machine learning, we need to understand how these variables all play with each other and how they all interact. So that is basically all of the basic statistics and concepts that we kind of need to understand in football analytics, and basically how we can code these in Python. But thankfully with Python does all the heavy lifting for us. So that is it for this video, and I will see you in the next one.